What is happening, everyone? This is Mr. Digiwiz, and in today's video I'll be talking about soloing, elite mobs, PvP stuff, and some more random things that I will recall as I make the video. So, about soloing and elite mobs, I'm getting ready here to try and solo a quest that's meant for a group of 2. Now, pay close attention because I'm level 47 and the quest is for level 43. So, I'm just buffing up, activating my scrolls, and you'd think me being a cleric with my heals and my healing pet, I would be able to solo this fine because I'm 4 levels higher. But let's see how I do. Usually in WoW, I would play a pally, and yes, I know, what a noob. Yeah, but I had a level 80 pally, and I managed to solo stuff easily because, you know, we had the bubble, we had the lay on hands, so it was really a breeze to solo stuff. And generally in WoW, I would be able to solo practically anything, unless of course dungeon bosses, which I don't think they are soloable, at least not if you're super high geared. Anyways, never mind, this is not about WoW, this is a Rift gameplay, people, so let's talk about Rift. Elites in Rift, as you can see, are not just big and high HP kind of mobs, they also have Uber stats and Uber attack. So when the game tells you that it's a group quest, it's usually best to get a group. However, in my shard, I'm pretty much alone. This is deserted, and even though Rift has that neat little tool which is basically a looking for group tool for group quests, it doesn't work that great because it's not cross-shard. And honestly, I don't see how Trine could implement a cross-shard quest system. It would have to create an instance zone, and that just wouldn't feel... it wouldn't feel right. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. Anyways, it's not cross-shard, so it most of the times doesn't work. It's usually more effective to just type in the chat rooms, can you help me with X quest? It's usually the way it goes. So, soloing stuff. If you want to solo stuff in Rift, you pretty much have to pick either cleric, mage, and you can actually also do it with rogues. So pretty much anything but warrior. When you get started playing basically any game, you need to figure out a few things out. Am I going to want to solo things, or am I going to be playing on groups and random dungeons? If you answered the first, which was soloing, then you're going to have to pick a class that will allow you to have healing and DPS. These are called hybrids, which are classes that can take multiple roles. Usually in Rift, any class can do multiple roles thanks to the soul system. However, warriors don't have that much healing, which makes them super hard to solo things, at least in my experience. So if you want to solo things, you probably don't want to pick a warrior. But if you want to group and you want to be a tank, then that's most likely the right class to go, because, well, they have 3 tank souls, so you can't really go wrong with that. Anyways, that's basically what you have to pick. If, and this is funny, I just died right here because I had to run to the door because there was someone knocking at the door from the mail service, and I didn't want him to run away, so I basically just had to leave the game alone and running. However, I'm going to cut the video so that we can actually jump right to my soul walk. Anyways, if you want to solo, then you need to pick one of those hybrid classes in any game, which is, like I said, any class with multiple souls in Rift. If you want to group, then you most likely want to take a class and the souls that are most focused on a certain spec, on a certain role. If you want to be a damage dealer, then you probably want to go mage, because they have the most damaging souls. However, you can actually heal with Arclan. You're not going to heal as much as a cleric, but you can do it. And that's one of the things that I love about Rift, is that you pick a class, but you're not forced to go in a role. I know that I had a rogue in WoW, a tune, and one day I just felt like tanking and well, what am I gonna do? Am I going to roll and level 60 levels over again in a warrior? Nah, I don't think so. That's what I like about Rift. It's basically like college, and you have to experiment until you find the right combo. That's pretty much how Rift works out. You need to experiment things. And before you try and solo something, even though you might be one of those classes that have the souls that both heal and do damage, and possibly even tank, which you can do with cleric. You can have a soul that heals, you can have a soul that tanks, and you can have a soul that does DPS. And even though you might have one of those situations, you need to think twice before you actually try and solo things, because in Rift elites, they don't fuck around, and it's basically a 50-50 situation. Some quests you can make, and some quests you can't. I know that Droughlands has 6 that I can count group quests, and the first 3 you can actually make them 3 levels later, whilst these ones I'm 4 levels above the required, and I still can't solo these elites. And that's pretty much everything that I had to say. Now for the next part, where I'm going to talk about PvP stuff. So see you back in a minute as I switch to some PvP footage. Okay, so now we're at the PvP part of this video, and I wanted to apologize if the footage playing in the background isn't all that great, but the thing is, I had a fun game that I wanted to show everyone, but as you may not know, I can't upload videos bigger than 15 minutes. So I didn't feel like cutting the game out, and I just put some random footage that I had lying around, so sorry about that. I wanted to take this moment to talk to you about my previous experience in PvP, and in a nutshell is none. My first real MMORPG that I actually leveled up to the cap and played some endgame content was really WoW, and I had a lot of fun during the Burning Crusade, but since Wrath of the Lich King hit, nothing was ever the same, and I was always the kind of person who jumped in and out of battlegrounds, you know, because I liked letting off some steam in there. But I think at some point resilience just got out of hand, and it stopped me from getting as much fun as I used to have. On one hand, I understand that we should reward players who play PvP more than others. On the other hand, I don't think we should make them immortal to us newcomers and PvE players. So I think I've got a solution for that in Rift. As you know, the looking for group tool for PvE has random normal and also has tier 1 and tier 2. I propose that we take that same system and we create a separate queue for PvP. So basically, a person who has PvP gear above a certain class joins one queue, and players who have PvE gear and low PvP gear should join a lower queue. That way we keep the newcomers from ruining more hardcore games, and at the same time we please the newcomers and PvE players by not getting them one shot. On the other hand, I can tell why that wouldn't be a good thing to do, because at certain parts of the day there aren't enough players to make 2 raid groups as it is, so splitting up the community probably wouldn't be that great. Anyways, I'm about to reach level 50, I'm level 48 currently, and I'm really excited to see some in-game content, and hopefully keep posting it on my personal channel if nothing goes wrong. There has been a lot of feedback and people telling me that it's hard to get into PvP at higher levels if you don't have enough favor and, you know, rep to buy that PvP gear to get started with. We'll see about that. If I don't like how the PvP is going, then I'll guess I'll just become a PvE player then. It's as simple as that. I've read some tips online, and a lot of people are saying that it's best if I join a guild and actually queue into PvP as a team. It's always best because I find that in Rift, there's a lot more objective-oriented gameplay. I find that when I was playing WoW, most players were always trying to clock kills, and even in Arathi Basin and battlegrounds like that are more object-oriented, people were always trying to clock kills instead of playing for the objective, and I'm not that kind of player. I prefer Battlefield to COD, just like I prefer Rift to WoW, because in terms of PvP, it's more objective based, and in order to have a good team play and to play for the objective, you really need communication. And I understand that it's not easy for strangers, because no one has TeamSpeak or Ventrilo to have the voice chat, and sometimes it's hard to type on the chat on tough situations. But nevertheless, it's always necessary, and there is one part in this video where I get and I steal the Source Stone, and there are no enemy players around me, and I basically go through the middle, and when I get to exit their base, they're all there waiting for me. Now, if one player in my team had typed on the chat, "Dude, they're in the center, go through the right or the left," then maybe would have gotten that point and it would turn around the game, possibly even giving us the victory. I'm not saying that would be the case, but it certainly would have helped me a lot. And it's that kind of communication that it's necessary. So that's pretty much all that I wanted to say about PvP. We should find a way to separate the newcomers from the more hardcore players, and at the same time, I think that we shouldn't basically throw away the effort that the more avid players have spent. And that's all that I wanted to talk about in this video. Next up, I saw the video that Big Dave did on TGN Rift, and I like the ideas that they are bringing on patch 1.5, because not everyone has the time to be raiding constantly, and you know, it's good that they're making the game more enjoyable to people that aren't raiding hardcore, but at the same time leaving that experience for whoever wants to do it, you know? You shouldn't take away from someone to give to the other, you know? And that's what I'm liking about it. I'm really excited for Chronicles. The idea of having one-man dungeons, it seems great. And I'm really hoping that patch 1.5 hits. About the add-ons, there are add-ons coming. My wish list includes Power Auras and Genie, and there are also a few posts on the forums about people saying that gear score is under development, and for God's sake, I really hope not, because I really thought I had gotten away from WoW when I joined Rift, and I do not want that elitist experience that values gear over skill. I don't think that's what this game needs. Anyways, I'm afraid this video is coming to an end thanks to the time limit, so I'm just gonna leave it at here, and I will bid you farewell, my good sirs. See you next time.